There is a truth few people say out loud. Most conflicts in life don't come from right or wrong, but from where a person is standing. You raise a single fish, it dies, and you're sad all day. You raise an entire pond of fish, a few die, and you barely notice. This isn't because you've become heartless, but because greater responsibility forces you to see farther, to focus on the survival of the whole rather than the loss of the few. The same is true in business. A beginner sells a few kilos of goods one bad day, and they lose sleep, replaying every lost sale. But someone carrying an entire stall, a warehouse, rent, and workers' wages, doesn't have the time to grieve every small mistake. Their only question is, how do I turn things around tomorrow? They aren't cold. They understand that if emotions lead the way, they will be the first to collapse, taking everyone else down with them. I once stood at a lower level. A single harsh sentence was enough to make me shake with anger. I lost sleep over a neighbor's judgmental look, over gossip from people I barely knew. Every small slight felt like a personal attack, a monumental injustice. But when I stood a little higher, when my responsibilities grew, those insults began to sound quieter. It wasn't because people suddenly became kinder, but because my view became wider. The small noises of the street faded as I focused on the horizon. When I stood high enough, I could no longer hear the praise or the blame clearly. Instead, I saw the whole picture. Who was struggling just to survive, who was exhausted from their daily battles, who was consumed by jealousy, and who felt utterly powerless in their own life. At that point, you don't need to argue. You understand? The need for validation disappears because you see the why behind their words. It's the same in families, among relatives, and in neighborhoods. You sell your products a bit expensive, they call you greedy. You sell them cheap. They say you're ruining the market for everyone else. You open your shop early, they accuse you of stealing customers. You close early, they call you lazy. When you do well, they say you're just lucky. When you decline, they say you were never destined for success. The same person, the same actions, just a different situation, and the judgments flipped 180 degrees. Some statements change their entire meaning simply by how they are framed. Someone says, I like another man's wife. It sounds immoral, a betrayal. But say, the person I love became someone else's wife, and it becomes a story of heartbreak and loss. A different lens reveals a different world. So many sighs. I work as a hostess at night, and they are immediately despised, judged for their choices. But say, I study during the day and work nights to support myself and my family, and suddenly there is compassion. The same action is viewed through a new filter of struggle and sacrifice. The truth doesn't change, only the listener's perspective does. In business, when you're the seller, you hate customers who bargain over every last cent. You see it as disrespectful to your effort. But when you're the buyer, bargaining suddenly feels smart, a necessary skill to protect your own resources. When you're an employee, you might think the boss is stingy and exploitative, squeezing every bit of profit. But when you become the boss, you realize every dollar spent carries the weight of someone's sweat, the risk of failure, and the responsibility for your team's livelihood. No one is entirely wrong. Everyone is simply protecting their own interests from their own unique vantage point. They are fighting their own battles, which you cannot see. So don't exhaust yourself arguing right and wrong with people who don't stand where you stand. They don't misunderstand you because they misunderstand you because they've never been in your position. They haven't walked in your shoes, carried your burdens, or faced your choices. No amount of explanation will bridge that gap. Only a change in position can truly change a person's perspective. There's something worth reflecting on in our modern world. When you take a wrong turn, Google Maps doesn't scold you. It doesn't replay your mistake on a loop, reminding you of your failure. It calmly says, recalculating route. It accepts the error and immediately focuses on the new path forward. Life should be the same. You make a bad business decision. You choose the wrong partner. You trust the wrong relative, neighbor, or friend, and you get burned. These things happen. Don't stop just to punish yourself. If you made a mistake, adjust your course. If you lost money, learn the lesson. If you fell down, get back up. No one travels a long road without missing a few turns. The journey is not defined by the detours, but by the destination. What truly destroys a person isn't the mistakes they make, but staying trapped in the guilt and regret that follow. It's the refusal to recalculate, the insistence on dwelling on the wrong turn. In life, when you're poor, every effort is seen as a desperate struggle. Every risk is called foolish. But when you're doing better, those same mistakes are retroactively labeled as experience. The same risky move is now called vision. The world judges the outcome, not the process. So don't waste your energy begging the world to understand you. Don't try to explain your map to people who are on a different journey. People will only understand when you stand high enough for them to see your perspective. In dealing with people, especially family, friends, and neighbors, the hardest part isn't making money or achieving success. It's keeping your mind steady amidst the storm of public opinion. It's holding your own compass when everyone else is shouting directions. You can't silence others. Their opinions are their own, but you can choose your response. You can choose not to explain. You can choose not to react. And you can choose not to lower yourself to their level. Just keep going. Let their words be the wind at your back, not a wall in your path. In the end, life isn't fair. It doesn't distribute starting points or opportunities equally, but it is fair in one crucial way. Those who keep moving forward, those who keep recalculating their route, still have a chance. The game isn't over as long as you're still on the road. Right and wrong are just games of perspective, shifting sands based on where one stands, but being able to survive, to stand firm in your convictions, and to provide for your family, that is real, undeniable strength.